Teachers on both sides, please.
That was the frightening announcement coming last night as students and fans in the stands sent running for cover at this Jefferson County Public School football game, PRP, when the shots rang around the corner in a parking lot last night.
Now, this was the scene outside PRP High School last night where the team was playing Male High School. And that shooting in the parking lot left 2 teenagers badly hurt. It is our top story at 5. I'm Connie Leonard.
And I'm Doug Proffitt. An arrest was made at that football game on gun-related charges. The man arrested 20 minutes before the shooting happened. JCPS saying his arrest is not connected with the shooting. We've got team coverage for you today on this Monday after the shooting that rattled 2 high schools. Gabriel Gonzalez has been in the neighborhood today where a man heard all the chaos. But
first, Isaiah Kim Martinez is at PRP High. Today, you spoke with the family of one of those victims, Isaiah.
Well, Connie, Doug, I actually talked to Will Pitts. He tells me it was his 17-year-old cousin who currently is in surgery at U of L Hospital in critical condition because of the shooting that happened in this parking lot behind me just last night. He actually tells me that his cousin was shot in the leg.
There's a lot of guns on the streets in the hands of children, you know, and once that happens, you tend to get results like these. Once the bullets fly, you can't pull them back. You can't retract them. And, you know, a lot of these kids, I don't think they understand the damage.
Now, Pitts is a familiar face. He runs the program called Shoot Balls, Not Guns. It's specifically to prevent gun violence among the youth. Meanwhile, I talked to a handful of people who live literally feet away from PRP High's football field who tell me they heard 6 consecutive gunshots and then the sounds of crowds of people running for safety. Police are still looking for the suspected shooter or shooters who left the scene, asking homeowners living close to that fence line to check their security cameras for any evidence. Something important to note here, JCPS officials tell me they had 5 JCPS police officers on site working security at the football game. I know there's been some chatter on social media on whether there was security at that game. And Doug, Connie, I know you guys have more information on the man arrested specifically for illegal or charged with illegal gun possession on campus here last night.
According to the Metro Police arrest citation, 22-year-old Damon Jerome Williams is now facing a charge of having a gun as a convicted felon and having a gun also on school property. And according to the arrest citation that we've been looking over today, he told police that he dropped guns over the fence for he and his cousin. And he went on to tell police that he, quote, felt people don't like them because they're from the Victory Park neighborhood. That neighborhood is in West Louisville.
Now, we also spoke to residents who live in the neighborhood, some telling us off camera they heard from the stadium speakers to shelter under the bleachers.
Others who weren't at the game but heard the gunshots from their house telling WHAS11 News this type of violence is becoming too familiar. Gabriel Gonzalez spent the day talking with one neighbor who heard the gunshots while his family was visiting. Gabe?
Yeah, Connie and Doug, I did speak to Jerry Rumba, who lives just only 1 block from PRP High School. He says he was not surprised to hear those gunshots, but was shocked that it happened at a football game. He and his granddaughter were both home at the time. She described to me the tension she felt when it happened.
I don't know what it was, but it was loud, like loud.
What was supposed to be a quiet Sunday evening for Caitlin Rumba.
That bang scared me out, like, I don't know how it did it.
Turned scary after she heard gunshots just blocks away from her grandparents' house. Gary Rumba, who's lived in this neighborhood for years, said the shots were fast and loud.
At first I thought it was an automatic weapon because it went off so quick. Bang, 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 bang. I thought it was a rifle at first because it was so loud.
He was sitting on his back porch around 8 o'clock Sunday night when he heard about half a dozen shots coming from the area of the high school. Soon after, he watched a rush of cop cars and ambulances fill the streets. Unfortunately, he isn't surprised.
It happens quite often. Yeah, so you hear gunshots quite often around. I mean, like I said, 2 or 3 times a week.
He says the area needs more police, and he hopes that will bring down the gun violence and other problems in the community.
We don't see police officers around here much at all. I mean, like to see a scooter going by, it's illegal to have them things out and stuff, but
I feel like I can't even sleep. I feel like I feel like I just didn't sleep. I just stayed up.
Rumba says he wants his home and neighborhood to feel safe for all of his grandkids. Now, we also spoke to a local mechanic shop manager on Greenwood Road who wasn't open during the time of the shooting, but said he's getting tired of the gun violence in that area and something needs to be done. However, he did say it is not affecting his business. Reporting live, Gabriel Gonzalez, WHAS11 on your side.
Gabriel, thank you very much. Let's switch to the weather. Of course, it was what we've all been following so closely through the weekend in Kentuckiana as Helene just wanted to linger, wouldn't get out of here. And then we woke up this morning, Connie, with fog as really thick as I've seen it in many, many years around Kentuckiana. It was heavy.
Yeah, and overall a gloomy day, but boy, we sure lucked out.
Did see some sunshine finally, and meteorologist Matt Rutkin is in for our Ben Pine this week. Matt, good to have you with us.
Yeah,
and,
good to be here.
So when are we going to get a full day? I mean, I'm talking start to finish, sunrise to sunset of sunshine.
I think Wednesday, if by your criteria, at latest Thursday, but I think Wednesday is going to be a great day to start the stretch that continues through the weekend. Until then, still a little bit of impactful weather. Issued a weather impact alert day for tomorrow. Again, not a huge deal, but want to give you the heads up that we will likely see, again, some patchy, dense fog across the area. Timeline basically 4 to 8 a.m. Once the sun comes up, fog lifts, and then things clear out a little bit. Still tracking a few rain showers. This is still associated with Helene, the storm that we just can't get out of the news headlines. And unfortunately for our friends and family, especially in North Carolina, I think the news is going to continue as first responders are able to access some of the catastrophic damage out that way. Closer to home, though, still spotty showers. No lightning with these. It's a quick downpour. It moves out. You'll probably see a little sunshine. Most of this is in southern Indiana, basically west of I-65. Kentucky, perhaps a few rain showers down this way. That's about it. Metro Louisville, this may be just a little shower south of the airport. That's really it. This would be sprinkles to drizzle at most. The wider view here shows you, again, this is all associated with the remnants of the hurricane. This will finally grab onto those upper level winds, push to the east. You see the clear skies. That's our weather as we head towards midweek. As the skies clear a little bit tonight, we'll get some patchy fog. No issues by 11. Here's 3 a.m. Some of that starting to develop. And anytime you get about a half mile or less, that's when you start to see some of the issues with flights in school districts. We'll talk more about that coming up. Patchy fog tonight and gorgeous weather as advertised. I'll have the full details coming up in about 15 minutes.
Thank you very much, Matt. Now let's talk about the aftermath of Hurricane Helene. Hundreds of people are still unaccounted for in the state of North Carolina.
At least 120 people confirmed dead across 6 states. Power, cell service, drinking water, and other basic necessities are out of reach for so many right now.
Well, this is what it looks like around Asheville, North Carolina at the moment. You see all the red dots there, no roads open in or out. Search and rescue crews forced to reach the city by air, and at least 38 fatalities are being reported now in Buncombe County. That is the main county of Asheville, North Carolina.
President Biden is pledging federal aid, saying he's planning to visit the region later this week. Rain-soaked hillsides in Tennessee, Georgia, and North Carolina gave way under floodwaters, especially in North Carolina, where those mountains 400 miles from where the storm made the landfall.
We're sharing food, and water is now becoming available. The more we understand the severity of the situation, we are then adapting and saying, okay, how are we going to make it work?
Experts say human-amplified climate change is causing extreme rainfall events just like Helene to become more frequent and intense. And in the southeast, extreme precipitation events have increased by about 37% in just the recent decades.
There are local organizations helping away from home as Americans recover from flooding disasters.
We've been catching up with them today. Ian Hardwitt and photojournalist Jessica Farley heard how their on-the-ground operations outside of Louisville are going.
When God calls you to do something, you've got to go.
Kentucky Baptist Disaster Relief answered that call. Its 25-person team arrived in flood-ravaged Valdosta, Georgia on Saturday. Even volunteers who've done disaster relief for decades say it's some of the worst they've ever seen.
I think they prepared over 2,600 meals the first night. We expect those numbers to go up probably 5,000, 6,000, 7,000 pretty quick.
5,000, 6,000, 7,000 meals
per day.
Plus, a team from Louisville Salvation Army is in Johnson, Tennessee, with a similar mission, feeding people and their souls. The team's 2-week rotation began Sunday, making over 200 meals the first day. Johnson City saw 9 inches of rainfall in 24 hours in the direct aftermath of Hurricane Helene.
They'll also be distributing hydration kits, cleanup kits as the disaster evolves, and there are more ways to access further areas, then the group will grow.
As the need grows in each state, it shows just how far Helene's devastation stretched across the southeast.
The number of meals is going to grow substantially.
While there, these organizations want to serve hope along with the food.
To help bring that help, hope, and healing so that they can begin the process of rebuilding their lives. Many of them have lost everything.
And a new day will come. It's going to take a long time.
However long that is, both teams are prepared for some time away from home. In Louisville, Ian Hardwick, WHAS11, on your side.
The city and state have thrown support to flooding victims as well.
911 response teams from Louisville Metro and Kentucky's emergency services are also going to be operating in North Carolina, where, of course, the flooding hit so hard.
Well, a new PGA Tour Superstore location is opening up here in Louisville. It will open in the Breckenridge Plaza Shopping Center on Breckenridge Lane. The 24,000 square foot store will have golf equipment and accessories as well as apparel for everybody, plus a 1,400 square foot putting green for golf simulators, 2 hitting bays, and a club fitting studio. The store is expected to open up in the spring.